to hold your hand for this one. My darling, you most likely did not escape nothing. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Jessica Hyacinth. I am an albinism and inclusion advocate. I basically like to raise awareness, educate people about albinism, and hopefully inspire other people with albinism to live beyond the condition. Yeah, that's basically what I do on, or hope to do on, this internet space. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about the very basics of albinism. Bring you up to speed. And I know what I'm talking about, and not just because I have albinism, but because I've done my research. I've basically learned that you don't just understand the condition because you live with it. You actually have to learn about it. Shocker, I know, right? Anyway, let's get right into the video. Let's get into the good stuff. So what exactly is albinism? Albinism is a genetic condition that affects the production of melanin, which is the pigment that is responsible for producing color in our hair, our skin, and our eyes. So because people with albinism have little to no production of melanin, we have lighter hair colors, lighter skin colors, and eye color as well. And beyond the physical appearance of a person with albinism, the lack of melanin also affects our vision. So people with albinism typically have lower vision. Lack of melanin in our eyes and our skin makes us more sensitive to the sun, and it varies from person to person. There are two major types of albinism. The first one is called oculocutaneous albinism. Yes, it's quite a mouthful. OCA for short. So OCA affects the hair, the skin, and the eyes, like I explained earlier. Then there is ocular albinism, which is also called OA. It affects just the eyes. So there are people that, they don't physically look like they have albinism, but then you can tell from their eyes, lighter colored eyes, they have most likely have ocular albinism. So for people that go around saying, oh, I escaped albinism, I'm going to hold your hand for this one. My darling, you most likely did not escape nothing. You may have ocular albinism, and that's fine. But I'm not a doctor. Do your research and go and talk to a doctor to find out. But chances are you didn't escape nothing, okay? So what exactly causes albinism? Albinism is caused by mutations in specific genes that control melanin production. It's inherited in an autosomal recessive pattern, which means that for a child to have albinism or a person to have albinism, it means that both their parents carry the affected genes. For example, if I have a child with somebody that is not a person with albinism but has the gene, we will have a child with albinism. But if I have a child with somebody that is not a person with albinism and does not carry the gene, we will not have a child with albinism, because both parties, like I mentioned earlier, have to have the gene, to be able to have a child with albinism. But then if two people that are not people with albinism and carry the gene, and if two people that are not people with albinism carry the gene, the chances of them having a child with albinism is 25%. So that means there is a 75% chance that they won't have a child with albinism. So that's basically how it works. If it's not present in both parties, you're not going to have a child with albinism, and like that. So the mother alone is not responsible for children with albinism. The father alone is not responsible. It is a collaborative effort. A collabo. Oh, anyway, and there's something that happens that people typically say, oh, it just happened out of nowhere. We don't have albinism in our family and it just came from nowhere. It doesn't come from nowhere. Sometimes the gene is silent because there is no second party for it to have, for it to collaborate and do what it's supposed to do. And other times, like I said, if two people that don't have albinism have these genes, there's a 25% chance. So if you are the one that has the child when other people, you don't typically have it in your family, you most likely are part of the 25%. One of the questions that I get asked the most is, can people with albinism see? And the answer is yes. Yes, we can. And so for each person with albinism, it varies, right? So let's like, some people can see clearer than most, while some people are legally blind in their country. Doesn't mean that they can't see anything at all, but like they can barely see. And this is as a result of the amount of melanin that we possess. Is albinism a rare condition? Yes and no. Because in some parts of the world, albinism is more common than in other areas. So in African countries like Nigeria, Tanzania, albinism occurs in 1 in 2,000 people, while in other parts of the world is 1 in 17,000 people. So yeah, it's rare, but also depending on where you are. Albinism does not only occur in Black people. While it may be prevalent in Black people, it also occurs in every single race. This particular question is basically CM. Even in the albinism community, it's still something that is debated. Should you call people with albinism PWAs? Should you call them albinos? And everybody has their own opinion on this, but here's my take. So, personally, calling the word albino just holds negative, it holds negative connotations, basically because every single time that, okay, I'm not going to say every single time, majority of the time that somebody has called me an albino, they're most likely being demeaning, or they're trying to be demeaning. And yeah, that's not cool. Like, it doesn't even make any sense to me, but it is what it is. And some people I've spoken to have said that it literally just is attached to negative memories for them, which is valid, obviously. But then there are other reasons why I don't think you should call people albinos. And there's an example that I saw online that I think is just perfect. So you wouldn't call a person that is diabetic, you wouldn't call them that, you shouldn't just call them diabetes, obviously, because that's just a condition. It's not who they are, it's just something that they have. So you would most likely say, oh, they are diabetic. That's basically the rationale behind saying a person with albinism. It's just basically separating the person from the condition, because there is a person outside of the condition, and the condition does not define who this person is, or is not all of what this person is. So yeah, some people don't find it offensive when you call them albino, but to be on the safe side, I think you should just say people with albinism, PWAs, and instead of just straight on calling people albinos. I really hope that helps. I'm going to share some myths with you, basically just bust the myths, but I will literally have to make a separate video where I extensively talk about the different myths surrounding albinism, because they range from silly to downright dangerous, like life-threatening. People are actually killed because of this condition and because of these silly myths. So, but right now I'm just going to touch on like very basic things. First one, do you think albinism is contagious? Albinism is not contagious. Come on, it's not a cold, it's not a disease, it's literally just a genetic condition. Does not affect anything other than the hair, skin, and eyes, the colors of our hair, skin, and eye. Literally, I've explained it, but yeah, this one was so common when I was growing up. Like, people would see me and they would say, "Oh, I have a mother is not giving you salt." See, people with albinism can take salt in their food, and there is no scientific backing that says that we're not allowed to take salt. And another reason, and a reason why I think many people say it, because they think it causes the dark spots that you see. Those spots are caused by exposure, direct exposure, too much of exposure to the sun without protection. They're not caused by salt. So if you're a parent with a child that has albinism, please put salt to your child's food. Okay? We deserve flavorful food too. Thank you. So there is a myth that albinism affects our IQ as people with albinism. Ladies and gentlemen, if it's not already obvious, it's not true. And like I've stated before, it only affects the color of our hair, skin, and eyes. I feel like we're going to be hearing that a lot on this channel, especially when I'm talking about albinism, because literally that is what it is. Yes, there are other challenges, but haba, it does not affect our IQ. They are brilliant, amazing, incredible people that are doing incredible things that have albinism. They are doctors, athletes, lawyers. Please, it does not affect. Literally, I have people sending messages like, oh, I've heard so and so and so, like, because they just had children with albinism. Please, let's stop peddling bad news and lies. Anyway, no, it doesn't affect our IQ. We are smart, gorgeous, and can do everything that you can do. Maybe even better. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm excited. I cannot wait to share more about albinism and other experiences, and hopefully have other people here and just share stories. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment if you have any contributions, questions, you want to share myths that you've heard about. Please leave them in the comments, and I would like to respond to you. I would love us to have a conversation. And if it's something that's so large that we can't discuss in the comment, I will make a video specifically to answer your question. Anyway, guys, thank you again for watching. Make sure to share this video to someone that will need it. Parents of the albinism, parents of children with albinism, partners, families, all of that, teachers. Please share the video. The goal is to create a world that is more educated and has the right information about this condition that is so misunderstood, so that we can reduce, if not eradicate, discrimination of people with albinism, create a world that is more inclusive. Yeah, so thank you again for watching. Until next time, see you next week. Till then, live your life to the fullest. Don't forget that you're not limited by any condition, anything. The only thing that can limit you is you. Take care of yourself. See you next week. Bye.